We all think of AI as this helpful tool, right? It's designed to be safe, to follow the rules. But what if I told you there's a whole fascinating subculture dedicated to just one thing, breaking those rules? Today, we're cracking the code on AI jailbreaking. Just think about it for a second. No filters, no guardrails, no more, "I'm sorry, I can't help with that." Just you and a ridiculously powerful intelligence. What would you ask? That simple question, well, that's the rabbit hole that leads to this whole world of rogue prompt engineering. So, how in the world do they actually do it? This isn't hacking in the way you might think. We need to start by understanding how they get inside the AI's mind. And really, it's like a social engineering attack, but on the machine itself. The community has a name for this: jailbreaking. But they're pretty clear, this isn't about writing malicious code. It's really the art of conversation. It's about crafting a very special prompt that basically convinces the AI to sidestep its own programming. Think of it as a psychological loophole, not a software bug. You know, a Reddit user put it perfectly. It's not always about some super complex hack. Sometimes it's about finding a logical loophole that's just shockingly simple. Like they said, it's like finding the admin password taped to the bottom of the keyboard. You're not breaking down the door. You're just talking the AI into handing you the key. And don't get it twisted, this is not a theoretical exercise. This is a live battleground. You've got users sharing new techniques way faster than developers can even patch them. Let's look at a concrete example of how it's actually done. Okay, check this out. This is a jailbreak that one user developed in just 15 minutes. It's called the Driva jailbreak, and it is brilliant. Basically, by using the custom instructions feature, you invent a whole new persona for yourself, a developer with a special nickname, Driva. Then, you make up a new full compliance mode, and you tell the AI that only you, Driva, can turn it on. It's pure roleplay, but it works. It completely tricks the model into thinking you've got special admin rights. And that developer persona trick, that's just one tool in what's become a surprisingly large and, well, creative toolkit. See, jailbreaking isn't just a single trick. It's a whole field of study with its own strategies, and each one seems to be more clever than the last. In fact, this has gotten so sophisticated that researchers at a company called Innodata have created a formal taxonomy for these attacks. They range from rhetoric, which is just pure verbal trickery, to imaginary worlds, which is one of the most common and effective methods out there. Let's see a few of these in action. So this is a famous and frankly pretty chilling example of role-playing. By wrapping a really dangerous request in this deeply specific and emotional story, the user creates a powerful context that just steamrolls the AI's safety protocols. The model gets so focused on being helpful and playing along with the grieving grandchild that it just complies. Okay, here's another one. This one frames the request with an innocent purpose. The user wants the AI to generate some targeted, hurtful insults, which of course it would normally refuse. But by claiming it's for an anti-bullying story, they give the AI a good reason to create the very kind of content it's designed to prevent. And this one is just brilliantly simple. It's straight up reverse psychology. You're essentially challenging the AI. By telling it, you probably shouldn't share this, you're not just asking a question, you're baiting its own programming. In its effort to prove it's a capable, helpful AI, it might just ignore its own rules to answer you. Now, these techniques aren't just for kicks. Security researchers use them in some pretty high-stakes tests, which brings us to a case that really unfolded like a 24-hour digital heist. When the brand new GPT-5 model was released, it kicked off a race. A security firm took on the challenge. And the result? It took them just 24 hours to crack it wide open. And we're not talking about a simple one-shot prompt here. This was a sophisticated, multi-step attack designed to outsmart the smartest AI yet. They called it the echo chamber attack. Here's how it worked. First, they seeded the conversation with seemingly harmless words like survival, but they also slipped in more loaded ones like Molotov and cocktail. Then, they had the AI weave a survival story using those words. And finally, they escalated, framing the final request as needing the ingredients to save their lives. The AI, now trapped in this urgent story it helped create,
comply. And here's the genius of it. Most safety filters check each prompt in isolation, one at a time. But this attack, it was like slowly poisoning the well over several turns. So by the time the final, dangerous request came in, the context was so warped that the prompt actually seemed like a logical step in a helpful survival story.
And that multi-turn attack perfectly illustrates the core of this whole issue. It is a constant, high-speed cat and mouse game between the people who make the AI and the people who try to break it. So on one side, you have the AI developers working around the clock to build stronger, more resilient safety guardrails. And on the other, you have this global community of jailbreakers, from security pros to curious hobbyists, just relentlessly probing those defenses, looking for any tiny crack in the armor. And the fundamental reason this whole game even exists is captured perfectly by the jailbreaking community itself. At their core, these models are designed to be the ultimate yes man. They are hardwired to assist. So the entire art of jailbreaking, then, is really just giving the AI a plausible excuse, a good enough reason to join the dark side. Okay, this is a fascinating technical battle, for sure. But why should the rest of us care about this constant cat and mouse game? What are the actual real-world stakes here?
Well, it turns out the motivations are incredibly diverse. A huge chunk of it is driven by just pure curiosity and skill building. Others are frustrated by what they feel is an overly censored or neutered AI. And then, yeah, you have those with malicious intent, right alongside people trying to access regulated info or simply generate adult content.
And this all brings us to the bigger picture. First, let's be clear. While it's not illegal, jailbreaking does violate the platform's terms of service. But critically, this is a vital part of red teaming, where ethical hackers find flaws before the bad guys do. In a way, every successful jailbreak pushes AI safety forward, and it all forces us to confront the single most important question about this technology's future. Because as these systems get smarter and woven deeper and deeper into our lives, the line between a necessary safety feature and censorship gets incredibly blurry. The final question, then, isn't for the AI. It's for us. Who gets to draw that line? The company that builds it? The government? The users themselves? That is the code we all now have to crack.